From Ivan Provorov in January on through the stalls the other night, you've had 4 individual choices, 3 team directives, and I'd just like to open the floor to you to have you say what you've been reflecting on and thinking about with respect to the Pride Games in the NHL.
It's an important discussion, and I really appreciate the chance to talk about it. To our friends in the LGBTQ plus community, don't be discouraged. We've had a couple of minor setbacks from a tiny number of players. We've made steady and spectacular progress in this space. 32 teams will have held by the end of the season a Pride Night. So even the teams here where we had some dissenters, the teams still held Pride Night. It's still important. It's a very important part of what we do at the NHL, big part of Fenway Sports Group here in Pittsburgh. So don't get discouraged. We're doing a great job.
Well, let's start with the team approaches, Brian. Do you like where a team like, say, San Jose goes and with James Reimer make a decision that the rest of the players will wear it? Florida Panthers, same thing. And we can get into the specifics of why there were team directors from the Rangers, the Hawks, and the Minnesota Wild. But what would your recommendation be in terms of a team approach?
So first off, there's two areas where there's been a matter of dissension, or that we're not going to wear the sweater. One is for Russian-born players, and the other is for religious reasons. And with the religious reasons, it just doesn't compute for me. I was born and raised a Catholic. I don't see any conflict between my religious beliefs and the ability to say to the LGBTQ plus community, you're welcome here. That's all Pride Night is you're welcome in our building. They're not asking you to sign any forms, not asking you to join any churches. It's about saying this community is valuable and important, and we want to honor them.
And the Russian issue, what's your thought on that?
Well, there's no material threat that I can discern, and I know the league has been asked about this, but I will tell you this. I will side with the players on this one to the extent that if there is a real risk, I don't sense that there is, but to the extent that players perceive a risk, then it's legitimate. No one should put their family at risk for something like this, in my opinion. But I hope that all dissipates, too.
In case you don't know, Russia passing new laws earlier this year with respect to propaganda for alternative lifestyles, and so that's the crux of that. Brian, from the time of Aristotle, this reconciliation of a God and a revelation versus maybe the human or secular approach to ethics has been, it's a conundrum. And that's, when you hear right now Chris Wells, associate professor at MacLean University, Edmonton, talk about a blowback happening where folks are being afraid of replaced by ethnic minorities or by liberated women or by the LGBTQ plus community. What's your sense of how we kind of find a compromise or a middle ground here?
Well, I think we got to stick to our guns on the LGBTQ plus front. We got to stick to our guns. The NHL supports everything that's being done here. The individual teams do, the players do. We're talking about a small number of players. And I do think there is a dichotomy and a distinction between what we are saying at these games, that you are welcome here, and someone saying it goes against my religious beliefs. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, do I sense that we have bigger issues and a blowback, as you mentioned, Ron, on the right? Yes, I do, and it scares me.
When you hear no further comment, does that strike you as kind of an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement? Would you prefer the conversation continues, or do you think people are going to say, whoa, please, enough. I just can't take this?
I've never won an argument, a political argument or a religious argument in my life. I've never been able to do that. So I've never tried. I used to try when people would say things that were homophobic. I'd try to reason with them. And I realized quickly that it's very difficult to reason with someone that doesn't have any time for your discussion at all. No inclination to discuss it, no further comment. So that just indicates right there, I think there's a problem.